Hello and welcome to this video. My name is Linus Kiramat, one of the Kenya Airlift Program GMAT trainers. In this video, we're going to focus on critical reasoning. More specifically, we're going to look at inference questions, which is one of the 8 question types that are tested in the verbal reasoning section of the GMAT exam. So let's begin. Inference questions are created from the word inference. Inference is a noun that could mean drawing a conclusion from evidence or information that is provided. So inference questions require you to arrive at an answer that is not explicitly stated in the stimulus, but can be definitely concluded given the information in the stimulus. Most inference questions, you'll be given a stimulus that contains some information. Now, the GMAT exam would require you to understand the information that is provided, and from the information provided, you are required to arrive at a conclusion. The conclusion or the correct conclusion to this stimulus or this information given is usually one of the 5 answer choices that are provided. So inference questions are like strengthened questions. The only difference is that correct answers for strengthened questions would strengthen the stimulus. However, for inference questions, the stimulus strengthens the correct answer. That is, the information provided will strengthen the answer choice that you choose or the correct answer to the question. Typical phrasings for inference questions include which of the following can be inferred from the information above, or on the basis of the statements above, which of the following must be true. Watch out for wording like this, must be true. With which of the following statements will the author of the passage most likely agree? Okay, so indicator words for inference questions, or the question statement for inference questions would be like infer, support, suggest, most likely agree, least likely agree. So the strategy that you can use to approach these question types is to first avoid the tendency to make use of outside information or common sense while answering these questions. So the answer to the correct answer to the question will be provided in the information in the stimulus. So do not extrapolate and provide an answer, or out of your own reasoning come up with an answer. Most of the time, that answer that you think in your head is true could not be true to the situation. So watch out for that. The correct answer would be provided in the answer choices, and that answer would most likely, the stimulus would most likely agree or strengthen that answer choice. Then, as a rule, or as a way of getting or answering this question type quick enough, is to use the process of elimination. So after you've gone through the answer choices, try to narrow down to 2 options first. Then from the 2 options, go back to the stimulus, and out of the information that is provided, one of the 2 answer choices would most likely agree, or the stimulus will most likely strengthen that answer choice. All right. Then do not read too much between the lines. So do not go and overthink an answer choice. That could be a way of the examiner trying to trap you. So use information that is provided and stick to the answer choices or the information that is bluntly being conveyed in the answer choice. So do not read too much between the lines. So answers to eliminate, answers are out of scope that do not conform or do not align to what information is provided, or extra information to actually what is being communicated. Answer choices that use extreme language. So the correct answer choice for inference questions must be true. That means that whatever information is being conveyed must be true or must be supported by the stimulus or the short passage that is provided in the question. All right, so it must be true. So take a minute to pause the video. Actually take 2 minutes to pause the video, then we discuss.
You're watching Success with Bob Mwiti Show, presented to you by Upstack America. Upstack America is a consulting company that helps immigrants find amazing higher education and job opportunities in the tech industry in the United States. You can find our programs by going to www.upstackamerica.com. Upstack America, we wake you up to the unlimited potential.
So our question reads, XYZ Corporation has 2 divisions, both of which performed consistently over the last 5 years. The Interment Services Division accounted for approximately 30% of the corporation's transactions and 50% of the corporation's profits. The Toxic Household Products Division accounts for the balance. So we are being told that we have 2 departments, that is the Interment Division and the Toxic Household Division. I just note it down. So this then we have we provided information about the contribution to transactions and contribution to corporations' profits. So we could kind of put it in a table so that we can easily decipher information that is provided. Okay. So we have corporate transactions here, and we have profits. So the Interment divisions account for 30% of the 30%. This is in percentage of the corporation's transactions, 50% of the corporation's profit. So 50%. The Toxic Household Products division accounts for the balance. So the balance of transactions, it accounts for 7% of the transactions, and that is 50% of the profit. So the statements above support which of the following inferences about XYZ Corporation over the last 5 years? A. Measured in dollars, the total profits for XYZ Corporation have remained stable over the last 5 years. Now, the stimulus doesn't necessarily give us information about the corporation's profits over the last 5 years, though it tells us that the 2 divisions performed consistently over the last 5 years. However, no reference is given to the corporation's total profits, right? So this is not provided in the passage, therefore autoscope, therefore making answer choice A to be incorrect. B says Interment services is an increasingly competitive field, while toxic household products are a largely untapped market. Again, our stimulus focuses mostly on the contribution of Interment division and the toxic household division to the corporation's transactions and their profits. It doesn't tell us whether Interment Services Division is a competitive field or not, or whether toxic household products are a largely untapped market. So that is information that is out of scope. For that reason, eliminate B. C says the toxic household products division yields a lower average profit per transaction than does the Interment Services Division. So we can tell from this information that the average profit per transaction could be profit, that is profit over transaction, that is will provide us information about average profit per transaction. All right, therefore the toxic household profit per transaction we can calculate by doing its contribution to profit over the transaction that department provides. All right, so we have that is 50 over 70. It will give us 5 over 7 for toxic profits. You can also calculate for the Interment Services Division. Do that by doing saying 50 over 30. That's give us 5 over 3. From your knowledge of mathematics, 5 over 3 is greater than 5 over 7, right? Because this is a whole number over 3, and this will give us, it will be a decimal, so this is definitely larger than 5 over 7, right? So C says the toxic household products division yields a lower average profit per transaction than does the determined services division. That is true. We have done the calculation and found out that the average profit per transaction of the toxic household division is lower. So 5 over 7 is less than 1 over 3. So that is true. We can keep that for the moment. We go to D. XYZ Corporation's toxic household product line has remained consistent over the past 5 years. We can go back to the first sentence of our stimulus. XYZ Corporation has 2 divisions, both of which performed consistently over the last 5 years. That is the only section in our stimulus where consistency is mentioned. Therefore, we can go back to D and see what how consistency is being communicated, right? So XYZ Corporation's toxic household product line has remained consistent over the last 5 years. So yes, true, the introductory sentence of our stimulus says that both divisions have performed consistently. Therefore, it is not a conclusion we can draw. Rather, it is the information that is already provided in our stimulus. So for that reason, eliminate D. E says most families will, over a given 5-year period, spend more money on term services than on toxic household products. Our stimulus doesn't really tell us who the market for these corporations, term services, and toxic household products are. Therefore, we can't really tell whether it's families being targeted as the customers or a business, for example. For that reason, this information is out of scope and we eliminate E. So a correct answer to this question is C, which says the toxic household products division yields a lower average profit per transaction than does the term services division. That is true. We have calculated and seen that that is true. Recommended study materials for critical reasoning, and more specifically inference questions, are the PowerScore Critical Reasoning Bible. This is comprehensive, very detailed, and will really help you in your studies. Secondly, we have all the verbal by Manhattan Prep. And thirdly, Writers Prep Critical Reasoning section. So with that, we've come to the end of this video. Kindly join us in our training programs. We elaborate, we teach you and help you tackle questions like this and other areas in the verbal section of the GMAT exam. Thank you.